Welcome to the Rotary Time Show, a public service program presented by Rotary District 7610. On our programs, we talk with Rotarians and community leaders and discuss how Rotary International builds partnerships to support local, national, and world communities. I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. The success of a Rotary Club is dependent on the club president. They lead, inspire, motivate, and connect their clubs with communities and others locally and around the world. Joining me remotely is Rotarian Bill Laws, who is the president of the Rotary Club of North Stafford, Virginia, for the 2022-23 Rotary year. Welcome, President Bill, to the Rotary Times.
Well, thank you.
We're glad you're here today to learn more about your club and what you're doing to support the North Stafford community.
Excellent. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Where we like to start is with our Rotarians and helping our audience, or our viewing audience that is, to better understand who we are personally. So I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about your background or your life before Rotary.
Well, I did 24 years in the military, started out in the U.S. Navy on submarines, and then got a scholarship for the Marine Corps to attend ROTC. I did that at Old Dominion, got commissioned in the Marine Corps, and served as a Marine Corps logistics officer until 2011 when I retired. And now I work for the Raytheon Technology Company as a program manager, and that's about it.
Well, first of all, then let me thank you for your service to the country.
It was my pleasure.
Yes, well, we know how difficult that is, and as the mother-in-law of another retired veteran, I know what that means, so thank you. Let's talk about how you got involved in Rotary and why did you join the North Stafford Club?
Well, it originally started with my wife, Renee. She was engaged by the North Stafford Rotarians who knew her to get involved with the Stafford 350th celebration. We were doing a big parade and festival kind of thing at the courthouse, and they asked her to help out with it, and she got involved and just took an instant liking to Rotary, started helping with that event, and joined the Rotary Club from there and just immediately become heavily involved. And I just decided if I wanted to see her very often, it would be beneficial for me to join as well. So I joined about a year later, and I've been a member ever since.
Oh, wonderful. We're glad that you got introduced. Actually, both of you as a family were introduced to Rotary. And in all transparency, your wife is the upcoming new district governor-elect. So I know how proud you are of her and how hard you both work in the community. So thank you for that as well. Tell us a little bit about your club, when it meets, the size. Give us some background.
North Stafford Rotary, we meet Wednesdays. We are actually changing up our schedule beginning in January, but we meet 2 Wednesdays a month at the Augustine Golf Club. We will be going to a board meeting at various locations on another Wednesday of the month, and then a social at another location to be determined as we go along throughout the month. We have about 22 members right now, so we're not that big, but the members are pretty involved, and we enjoy each other's company. We meet at 6:30 in the evening on Wednesdays, so it's, I guess in the old terminology, a knife fork club. We do have a meal and a social half hour prior to the meetings. We have a speaker once a month, and we try to do a service project once a month. Haven't had a lot of luck with that in the past several, but we're trying to get back on track with that.
All right, well, you're right in line with many other clubs following the pandemic who've had to change their schedules a bit, but they're still making an impact in the community. So that's all that matters. And the size doesn't matter because you're mighty. So that's
we like to think so.
Yes, you are. So that's all good. What about some of your club functions? I know you said that you all have a speaker. Is that pretty much monthly, and how do you get your speakers?
We have a couple of the Rotarians that are assigned to seek them out. So they do some calling. One of our Rotarians that's been in the club a good while and a past president, he's out and about the community quite a bit meeting folks. So if he meets somebody that is interesting, has a worthwhile cause, or just something to teach us, he will ask them if they'd like to speak. He works with the secretary to get them on the schedule, and we just schedule them from there.
And see, I like that, because that also says Rotary is about meeting the needs of its members. And you
Yes.
said it could be someone that could just teach you something that you
Yes.
bring in as well. So that's something that all of our clubs need to be thinking about as well. How about some of your community service projects?
We have three basic, three large events that we do every year. One is Via Glory in the October timeframe, which is a street chalk festival. We've done it for 2 years now. We are basically contracted with the Stafford Museum Foundation to do it for 3 more, and we hope to continue it beyond that. It's growing, and basically we, in conjunction with the Stafford Club, do all the coordination, the logistics, get the artists signed up, get sponsorships, and then it's a 2-day festival where we bring all these artists in, including a guest artist who does this professionally to be our featured artist, and they do chalk art on the ground in different size squares in the VDOT parking lot area here in Stafford, and we invite the community out. We have food trucks, and it's a good time. It's growing, and we hope it gets bigger every year. It's a good chance to involve with the community, show Rotary, and bring art and some other things to North Stafford, which is historically a little underserved for entertainment. Then we do Flags for Heroes every spring. We go get sponsorships for flags, ask people to sponsor a flag for a hero. We set those up in the courthouse yard right off of 1, and that's a very good chance to show Rotary. Put a banner up, North Stafford Rotary, and thank our sponsors, etc. And that's our second one. And then thirdly, just last year, we started doing an event at Barley Naked, which is a brewery in town that we hold. We do cornhole, we do several functions, charity event, try to raise some money for whatever fund we decide or whatever effort we decide to support for that year. Wonderful. So those are our 3 big community outreaches every year.
And they sound awesome. I like the street art. That's unique and different. An opportunity to bring the arts into the community.
Yes, and it's a great chance to interact with the community. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a wonder. I'll look out for that one. What about some programs under your tenure? Is there anything you were thinking about doing while you were president?
Well, the biggest thing I'm working on for my president year is starting our Impact Club. It's a good chance to reach out to younger members of the community, folks that don't want to necessarily attend a meeting every week, but have a heart for service, want to do the service. So we are in the beginning stages of that, working with some folks from the zone and from the district to get this innovative club together. We hope to have it off the ground at the beginning of the year, sometime January, February timeframe. That will grow our membership, give us a public service arm, some volunteers at the ready, so we can reach out and do a few more events that we just don't have the manpower to do all the time.
It sounds like a one. What's it called again? The Impact?
An Impact Club.
An Impact Club. I love that.
Yeah.
So you look specifically for an area that would be impactful for the community, or it could be many areas?
Yes, it's the primary focus of the Impact Club will be service. I mean, that's really the focus of any Rotary Club, but they will be specifically focused on that, not necessarily the meetings and the fundraiser portions. We'll handle that. They will be a part of our club, but they will be specifically designed to focus on doing community service projects, looking for chances to do outreach, and to be extra folks to help us with the Via Glory event, with the Flags for Heroes events, and just chances for them to get involved with the community and get the Rotary name out there a little better.
A wonderful way to look at how you brand your club. So I like hearing that. Will you all use the community assessment tool to help with that, since this could be focused on several different opportunities for impact? How will you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, we
Right.
will look to use the tools that are available to us through DAC-DB and through the district to see where we can make the biggest impact and where we can get Rotary out there and get everybody to know who we are and what we're trying to do, grow the club membership, which is always a focus,
Hmm.
and just try to increase our outreach as much as possible.
Okay, sounds like that sounds wonderful. Have you all had to make any changes as a result of the pandemic? Have things, did you modify any kind of programs or anything?
We did a period where we went through several venues, various restaurants in town, so we had to change that up. And then we finally got back to Augustine, which was where we started before the pandemic. We did a hybrid model for a while. I'd like to get back to that so that some of our members who we did change from Tuesday to Wednesday night to get this venue back, and some of our members can't meet on
Hmm.
Wednesdays. So I'm hoping to reinstitute doing a hybrid like we did during the pandemic to let those folks that can't get up here to North Stafford and meet with us on Wednesday, to let them join virtually. So I'd like to do that. It's been hard since the pandemic, like every other club, to get folks re-engaged and get us refocused uh, on doing these things. Everybody's used to just staying close to home, doing things virtually. So getting everybody back out in the community has been a challenge, and so we're trying to address that. We're hoping the Impact Club will address some of that. And then, of course, we did get Glory in the fall, and that was got us back out in front of everybody, got us all a chance to get out and volunteer. So we're hoping that those kind of efforts and the Impact Club will help get us back into the swing of things.
It will. We're hearing that from a number of clubs around the district, having to re-engage. I think that's the new operative word. It was pivot when when the pandemic
Yes,
started. Now it's re-engage. So
yes.
we know that that's happening. So we wish you all the best on that. Do you have a specific program that you have enjoyed working with?
Um, I'd say, I mean, we're trying to re-engage for our youth programs, and that's always been having 6 kids. I've always been involved at high schools and things like that, not to Renee's level, of course, but I like to be involved with that. So we're trying to reinvigorate our youth programs. I'd like to get more involved with that. As far as programs that we do run, I'd have to say Flags for Heroes is a big one. Just being a veteran, and it's a veteran focused kind of event. I'm a big fan of that one. Um, so yeah, Via Calori is fun. It's a lot of work. The committee from last year did an outstanding job, many hours of effort. But it is fun once we're actually executing. It's just the months leading up that tend to engage several of our folks very heavily.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anytime you have major community activities, you're going to, the time that's put into it is enormous. But it's,
It
in the
is.
end, it's always worth it. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a short break here and be right back and talk more with President Bill Laws. Please stay with us.
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
Welcome back to the Rotary Times. We're here talking with Rotarian Bill Laws, the president of the Rotary Club of North Stafford, Virginia, for the 2022-23 Rotary year. Oh my, you have really shared a lot about the how impactful your club has been in the Stafford community. Considering I understand you have 2 clubs in Stafford, is that correct?
Well, we're up in North Stafford. Yeah, I
You're
mean,
North
technically,
Stafford.
we've got Fredericksburg, we've got Rappahannock, Fredericksburg, and the Stafford Club, but they're a little further south.
Gotcha,
We're
gotcha.
the only one up here in North Stafford.
All righty, so if our viewing audience wants to know, you're in North Stafford.
Yes, we are.
All right, let's talk about international service programs that your club is hosting.
Well, internationally, we are in the 3rd year of our global grant that we contributed to and signed up for, which is community in Africa they're building a bridge to try to get transportation across this area that they had a problem where trucks and truckers were congregating and causing a little bit of a problem for the community. So they're working on not only building a bridge to speed that transportation along, but also training programs for the females in the community to train them for textile work and other things that they can also set up businesses with. And that was very interesting to us. We started that 3 years ago. This is the last year of that.
Of that program. Oh, wonderful. What part of Africa?
You know, I'm drawing a blank on that right
That's
now.
okay.
I'm sorry to
That's
say.
all right. I know Rotary hosts a number of various programs throughout the nation of Africa, so I
Yeah.
just was trying to focus on
I
that.
can't remember the exact location right
That's
now.
about, but you know you're over there building a bridge, and that's
Yes.
what's important. These projects that you have been a part of in your club, how does your family support you in Rotary?
Well, it's more of me supporting my family in
Okay.
Rotary, just because Renee is so heavily involved. But of course, Renee being past president of the club, she offers me advice, things she learns from her district training as she's climbing the district governor pipeline to be district governor in the coming year. The kids get involved whenever they can, when they're home from school or happen to be home on leave from something. They try to get involved if we happen to have an event going at the time. But basically, when it's just me and Renee here, when the kids are at college, we're basically a Rotary family by default.
Yeah, that's wonderful to know that you have all of that support and volunteers.
And volunteers.
You got that too. When you're conducting your own business through your job, and I know you probably did this, I know, in the military or just in the community, how does the motto service above self impact your life?
Well, you know, service above self, for me, I try to remember that when there's things going, let's face it, everybody has something going on that they would either rather be doing or need to be doing, but then service opportunities come up. You see things that you'd like to get the club involved in that are going to take time. And you need to remember service above self to talk yourself, or at least for me, to talk myself. Yeah, there are things that you could or should be doing, but this is important too, and you need to lean in and get involved with it.
That's wonderful. Do you practice that on your business life as well? When you are faced with challenges there?
I mean, I'm a program manager. The opportunities to call it service above self are a little limited, but I'd say it does lean into looking for those opportunities to help or do something additional that I could forego. I'd say that would be an extension of the motto.
Okay, I would say I agree with you. How about the four-way test? How does that work for you?
The four-way test, I mean, being a Marine, the four-way test kind of lends itself to any kind of leadership that I've ever been taught, never exercised. Is it truth? Is it beneficial to all concerned? Things, taking care of people and your integrity and telling the truth are just things I live by generally. So applying the four-way test to my job, anything I'm doing is just basically second nature for me.
How's membership going in your club? We're hearing clubs that are facing decreases, but yet we also hear some that are facing increases. How would you describe your club?
We are a little hit and miss on that. We
Okay.
brought a few members in, lost a few. We're basically at a net zero right now over the last year. We're breaking even. We're hoping the Impact Club is going to make a big difference for that and grow the membership through, like I said, just a different target audience instead of just the folks that want to come and attend a meeting once a week and sit down with us and listen to a speaker. We can approach those folks that have a heart for service, are Rotarians and just don't know it, and get them involved that way, and subsequently, in benefit to us, grow our membership as well.
Okay, when you say get them involved, do you have an onboarding program in your club to new members to get them acclimated to Rotary?
We are in the process of building an onboarding. We have a book, we have our general way we do it, We're trying to build a more standardized approach. We're taking some tips from the district and from various zone and things I've attended with Renee to get a more formalized approach, get some more information out early to people so they don't have as many questions. We're talking about instituting a basically new Rotarian program where, yes, everybody has a sponsor when they come in, but maybe spend 20 minutes prior to a meeting with a designated Rotarian to spend 20 minutes talking about a topic that might not come out in everyday meetings, like the foundation or various other topics that we might not cover during a meeting all the time, but a new Rotarian just doesn't know. And we that have been doing it for a few years, it's just kind of second nature to us. And we're like, oh yeah, that's part of it too. But they just don't know.
Right.
So we're looking at trying to institute that. And then the district is holding the membership summit coming up in January. So I'm hoping we can take that in conjunction with the Impact Club we're trying to put together and build kind of an orientation and an onboarding process that's a little more effective than what we've had in the past.
Okay, well, we're thankful that the district is offering opportunities to have professional development or development around membership sometime throughout the year. Okay. Let's talk about retention. What are the kinds of things you think about when you're thinking about retaining your members?
Retention's been a little difficult, particularly coming out of the pandemic, like we said before, trying to re-engage folks and get them involved. And the tendency, I think, is to focus on getting new members, but you really have to pay attention to keeping your existing members engaged. Everybody, no matter how long we've been Rotarians, we need to be able to answer, why am I here? It takes time, it takes money, it takes effort. And you need to see why you're here. So trying to answer that question for the club members is an ongoing thing we're working on. We're trying to find opportunities to keep everybody engaged. But really, in my mind, it comes down to answering that question. Why am I here? What are we doing? Over time, speakers and, hey, we're doing this fundraiser. The cyclic nature of that gets a little old. It gets a little stale. So we need to start finding ways to get out there and do more service projects and find those opportunities so that you see a return on your time investment.
Yes, yes, so true, so very true, and I'm glad you pointed that out. Are there other areas of your club that makes North Stafford unique that you want to share with our viewing audience?
You know, I can't think of anything that I would say makes us unique other than we're a great bunch of people. I have had the opportunity to visit multiple clubs with Renee as she has been going through area governor and then district governor-elect visits with the DG. And I find that everybody's got a little bit of something that makes, I see a little piece when I go to Fredericksburg or I go to Stafford Club. That I'm like, ooh, we should be doing something like that. So I think it's a lot easier for me to see unique things in other clubs than it is for me to see unique things in our club. We are a great group of folks that really enjoy each other's company. We have a lot of fun while we're doing Rotary. I'd like to see us get a little more engaged in the service aspect. We just, like everybody else coming out of the last couple of years, we're trying to get refocused. But unique, no, I think we're just a great group of Rotarians trying to do some community service and trying to grow the club.
Continuing to do good in your community. That in itself makes you unique because not every club, not all Rotary clubs, as you said, that's a focus, but not every organization that serves focuses on that. So
very true.
Yeah, so glad to hear that. As we think about and come to a close, I want you to think and talk to those young people in the audiences. That's your demographics, what you're looking for, that are sitting out there. We know they have maybe a heart or head for service, but they're kind of on the fence about what should they do, why Rotary. What would you say to those individuals?
I would say dispel the idea that you probably have in your head of what Rotary is and pay attention to the evolving nature of where Rotary's going. We are trying to focus more on the community outreach, on the service projects, on the actual hands-on, let's go help people and actually see a return on your time. Whereas I know a lot of folks I talk to Rotary, oh, that's they like to think we just sit around and listen to a speaker or write checks or something of that nature. And I'd really just say, give Rotary a chance and give Rotary the opportunity to show you the evolution of where Rotary's trying to go. And if you have a heart for service, if you really want to be involved in your community, that's one of the things I've gotten out of Rotary. Having been a Marine for so long, we move places, and I don't pay a lot of attention to the community we're in because I know I'm leaving. And it's the family and Renee that get involved with the community. Rotary has really been my opportunity to get to know where I live, and get to know the people in the community, get to know what's going on and the needs. And if you have a heart for service, if you want to be involved, Rotary will give you the opportunity to do that.
Well, thank you, President Bill, for joining us. We're glad to have had you here today to learn about you, your club, and where you're going, your future there. So thank you again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Funding for this program is made possible by the generosity of past District Governor William Glenn Yarborough of Rotary District 7610, Virginia. For the Rotary Times program, I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. You're welcome to join us at a Rotary Club in your area for either breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a service project. You can find the club nearest you by just looking us up on the internet. Many clubs are hosting meetings in person, virtually, or in some hybrid format. You only need to look us up for details. Remember, our time is your time, and as our past district governor likes to say, together it's time well spent. Please join us for our next program as we continue to celebrate Rotary's 117 years of service above self.